Welcome back. NATO leaders are holding a summit in Spain. Let's go live now to CTV's Kevin Gallagher in Madrid for more. Kevin, thanks for joining us. So we spoke last at G7 in Germany. If you were to sort of lay the agendas of both of these meetings over each other as a transparency, they'd probably line up in a lot of ways. But for NATO, there's been a lot of movement now on new Nordic nation membership, thanks to Turkey, right?
Well, definitely. I mean, you're right. The Venn diagram here is very much supporting Ukraine and condemning Russia. Part of that strategy now will include Sweden and Finland. And of course, there was a potential block here. Turkey had put up an objection. In NATO, you have to have the support of all 30 members to bring on new members. There's now a fast-track membership after there was a deal cut yesterday between Finland, Sweden, and Turkey. There were concerns that Turkey had over an arms embargo that was imposed on Turkey because Turkey back in 2019 did buy some Russian munitions, but also Turkey has accused Sweden and Finland of housing or harboring people or groups that Turkey believes to be terrorists, specifically Kurdish groups. Of course, there's a group called the PKK, which Turkey considers a terrorist group, but so does the United States and many other members within NATO. So this is something that is agreement that Sweden, Finland, and Turkey will work together for counterterrorism efforts, which Turkey seems satisfied with. That then cleared the way for Sweden and Finland to join the alliance. It now bolsters this alliance that has taken a new strategic direction, George, really, because back in 2010, there was actually an agreement to make Russia a strategic partner of NATO, specifically in the fight against terrorism. Now you have Russia being considered sort of like enemy number one here. This is the biggest strategic threat to NATO. Finland has more than 1,300 kilometers of border that it shares with Russia. It's actually quite sparse. It would be very difficult for Russia to defend, and it would also spread any potential line, battle line between NATO and Russia, very thin for Moscow to defend. So it makes a different strategic calculation for Russia. Of course, the concern here is this brutal campaign that is steamrolling through parts of the Donbass and eastern Ukraine. Russia has taken Severodonetsk not that long ago, a very strategic city in that part of Ukraine, but also these missile strikes in Kyiv, a shopping mall in central Ukraine. We know that there have been these, reported atrocities in Ukraine that many, including Canada, are putting at the feet of Vladimir Putin. So, there is certainly new commitments here today from NATO allies that want to see, we have the United States coming up with F-35 commitments to the UK, more troops going into its NATO mission in Poland, and NATO itself, along the Russian border, there are several NATO sort of on-the-ground missions, and they want all of those missions to double in size. Canada is in command of one of those in Latvia. We are actually still waiting to hear what the potential commitment will be from Canada, if it will change on the ground, if there will be, there's been 2 new naval ships, minesweepers, that have been deployed to the NATO mission that increases Canada's naval contribution. But there is still an open question as to what Canada will do in terms of basically the command of troops that it'll have in Latvia will go from around 2,000 to probably more around 5,000 or 6,000. That's the goal that NATO has. And this is specifically to counter the perceived threat that Russia would have. Today, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky did address NATO members, NATO leaders, and was very clear. His country needs more weapons, needs more sophisticated weapons, specifically air defense weapons, and needs them sooner. Or there will be a serious potential of Russia and NATO having some type of conflict. So very harsh words and stern words from President Zelensky, but at the same time, some real unity we've heard from other NATO members about defending Ukraine, George.
Kevin Gallagher, CTV News, live for us from Madrid. Kevin, great report. Thanks for giving us some time. Appreciate it.